Hello, Sean HGV Training. This video is all about your tell me, show me questions. So before you do your practical driving test, you're going to be waiting in the waiting room. The examiner's going to call you through, check your driving license, and then lead you to your vehicle, or you will lead them to your vehicle, and then they will ask you 5 tell me, show me questions. And these relate to ensuring the vehicle is in good condition before you take it on the public highway. Just one point, they are tell me and show me questions, so sometimes you have to tell them and sometimes you use the vehicle to demonstrate. Okay, tell me about the main safety factors involved when loading this vehicle. 3 things we must ensure really: that the load is evenly distributed, that it's secure, and also it's not exceeding permitted vehicle weight, so axle weights, etc. Okay, another question could be, show me how you would check for leaks on this vehicle. So what we do is charge the air tanks. Air tanks are over here. So we turn the ignition on, run the engine so it can run the compressor to fill up the air tanks. Then you're going to fill up the air tanks, you're going to turn the ignition off, and then you're going to get out the vehicle listening for any air leaks. You're going to turn the engine off, otherwise you're not going to hear the air leaks. Show me how you would check that all the doors, including cargo doors, are secure. So you need the keys for this one. I'm going to walk around. Please come with me, making sure the vehicle is secure at the entry and exit points. Secure as well. We'll come around the back and we'll make sure the cargo doors are also secure. They probably won't have a lock on them because the examiner may want to inspect to ensure that there's a load in the back. Okay, so we'll make sure that's secure at the top, at the bottom. Okay, tell me about the checks required for your markers, aka reflectors. Alright, so they must be clean, they must be clear, they must be fixed, and they must be working. Tell me how you would check for the condition of the windscreen on the vehicle. Okay, so it's got to be clean, it's got to be clear, no cracks, free from stickers and mascots, anything obscuring your view. Show me how you would check the condition of the mud guards, also known as the spray suppression. So we're going to make sure it's secure, it's fixed. This area around here, not full up with gunk. It's going all the way across, so it's covering the full width of the tyre, and it's secure and it's doing what it should be doing. Okay, next one could be, show me how you change a tachograph on this vehicle. Just up here, guys. Okay, you probably won't have one already because you're doing your training, you're exempt from driver's hours, etc. So for the purposes of the examination, you're going to have to talk them through it. So it's quite simple. We've got driver 1 and driver 2. You're going to be driver 1. You simply push your card in, select 1. It's pretty much automated, so the rest does it for you, but that's how you put a tachograph in the machine. Okay, tell me how you would check your tyres to ensure that they're correctly inflated, have sufficient tread depth, and the general condition is safe to use on the road. So obviously consult the manufacturer's guidance regarding pressure. You can use the tyre pressure gauge to make sure it's correctly inflated. As far as the tyre legality goes, the tread depth must be at least 1 millimetre, a minimum of 3/4 across the width, a continual band all the way round. And we're also going to check for any bulges, any tears, any cuts, any chunks missing, any cord exposed on the wall. Okay, this one, show me or explain how you would check that the power assisted steering is working on this vehicle. So if the steering becomes heavy, then the system may not be working properly. So before starting a journey, 2 simple checks can be made. Number 1, gently pressure on the steering wheel, maintained while the engine is started. This should result in a slight but noticeable movement as the system begins to operate. Alternatively, turning the steering wheel just after moving off will give an immediate indication that the power assistant steering is working. Okay, another one could be, tell me about the condition of the body of the vehicle. So we're going to walk around, make sure underrun bars are secure, make sure the vehicle, the chassis is attached to the body. Walk around, make sure that there's no sharp objects protruding, no loose panels, nothing that could endanger other road users. Have a look around, up, down, all the way around the vehicle. This is how we check the body. Again, underrun bar, come along, ensure that the chassis and the body are bolted together securely, come along, again check for any loose panels, sharp objects, and that's how we check for the condition of the body of the vehicle. And show me how you would check the brake lights working on this vehicle. So for the purpose of the test, the examiner will help you, and you just ask them to stand at the back of the vehicle, you get in the vehicle, have the ignition on, and put your foot on the brake pedal. Okay, so get in the vehicle, and if you ask the examiner to stand at the back there, he will then give you the thumbs up when you activate the brake pedal, see if it's working or not. Okay, show me how you would check the operation, specifically horn, the audible warning device on this vehicle. So quite straightforward, turn the ignition on, press the audible warning device, and that's how you check for that. Another one could be, show me how you check for correct air pressure on the vehicle. So we can turn the ignition on, we can consult the air gauges here, and we can also, when we turn the vehicle on, if it is short of air, there's not enough air in the tanks, we might get a warning light on, or there could be audible warning device noises as well. Okay, next one, identify how you would check to ensure you have sufficient coolant in this vehicle, and if necessary, how would you put more coolant in. So again, on the front of this vehicle, I'm going to lift up the hatch. Here's our coolant here, and for us, we don't have a maximum, we just have a minimum. If you do need to put some coolant in, we're going to do it here. Obviously ensure the vehicle is cool, it's not hot before you start unscrewing that. Where you check you have sufficient oil in the vehicle, how you would check it, and where you would put your oil in as well. So on this particular vehicle, dipsticks around the front, ensure the vehicle has been sitting for a couple of minutes, let the oil settle and it's on level ground. You're going to pull out the dipstick, give it a wipe, you're going to put it back in and make sure it's above the minimum but not above the maximum. If you do need to put some oil in here, on this particular vehicle, that's where we put the oil in. Okay, show me where the first aid equipment is located on this vehicle. So check with your instructor beforehand, but ours is just positioned here at the back, as is the fire extinguisher, which is another separate question. Okay, tell me how you would check the condition of the suspension on this vehicle. So as part of a daily walk round check, the suspension should be checked for any obvious damage, any signs of deterioration, any cracking, any warping. You can see this is a spring leaf suspension, and make sure that it's in good condition. And for the more modern vehicle, again, suspension is slightly different setup, but again, part of the daily walk around checks will be there to ensure that there's no noticeable damage and the suspension is in good working order. Show me how you make sure the lights are working. So we're talking about main lights, dip beams, full beam, any tail lights, side lights, etc. So again, you're going to get into the vehicle, have the ignition on, we're going to put all the lights on here, and we're going to put the full beam on as well. Just push that away from you. Okay, then we're going to get out of the vehicle, and we're going to have a walk around the vehicle, making sure the lights are working. So here's your markers, reflectors, they are working. If this is the light check, again, you might want to check the brake lights. You can ask the examiner to stand at the back while you check those for him. So check the lights at the top, down the bottom here. Don't worry about the reverse lights, please. Come along here, check the lights again. And then we're going to check the markers down the side, the reflectors. We're going to come around the front of the vehicle. There's your dip beam and there's your main beam. That's how you do your light check. Show me how you would ensure the wheel nuts are secure in this vehicle. So some of these wheel nuts do have, you've probably seen them around, they have indicators that point to each other, and if they move, then it means that the wheel nuts have become secure. So again, this is part of your daily walk round check. You're going to visually check. You're not going to get a torque wrench out and ensure that these are the right tightness just on a walk round check. You can also have a look and ensure that the thread depths on the wheel nuts are about the same. Okay, identify where the windscreen washer reservoir is and tell me how you would check the windscreen washer level. So identify where it is, which is for these MANs just on the passenger side here. You put your coolant in there and then you can check on the dashboard to ensure that you've got enough in there. Okay, show me what instrument checks you would make before and after starting the engine on this vehicle. So the first thing we do is turn the ignition on, let the vehicle go through its startup procedures, ensure no lights, no audible warning devices remain on. Start the vehicle and off we go. Okay, show me how you clean the windscreen using the washers and wipers provided. So you get in the vehicle, turn the engine on, obviously check how each particular vehicle works. For this one we just pull the collar in, and that's how we clean the windscreen. Okay, and the next one is show me how you would demist the vehicle. Okay, so you come in, it's freezing, you want to demist the windscreen. What you're going to do, so you're going to put the ignition on and we're going to select the fans. So the idea is put the temperature on max, and we're going to point this, as we can see there, to the windscreen to demist, and then we're going to put the fan up maximum. And that is how we demist the vehicle. Okay, show me how you switch your lights from dip beam to main beam. So we're going to turn the ignition on. Little light cluster down here, we'll put our dipped lights on here, and then for the purposes of the full beam, we're going to pull this in and it holds on there for you. So that's how we switch from dimmed to full beam. Show me how you would check that the direction indicators are working. So quite straightforward for this one. You can either put the indicators on separately, get out the vehicle, get back in the vehicle, do the other one, or you can, it does give the option to put the hazards on. So show me is putting them on, getting them out, checking that they're working. Okay, tell me how you would check the condition of the windscreen wipers. So what we're talking about here is, most importantly, the blade. We're checking for any deterioration, any splits, any tears, any cuts. Also, another important factor is that the wiper blades have good purchase, have good grip to the windscreen itself.